she hadn't seen any midwife yet, so this was the first time that she's actually had hands on her belly. And then when she saw the picture of the baby, she was in tears of joy.
Oh.
So it was a really good experience for her.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. It seems.
So it worked perfectly.
Did you get together in a group? Was it
Yeah. It was all my doulas, 5 doulas, and then the mom and the father and one of their big daughters were with us as well. And we just had a party with painting the belly, and it was so lovely with them
I'm
all.
so
It was
happy.
nice. Yeah. So thank you for that inspiration.
Oh, I'm very, very happy. It seems like it's quite a simple thing to do, but the impact emotionally is very big.
Yeah, it seemed like it for her, at least. For me as a midwife, it felt like, well, this is simple. This is where the back is, the head is, the feet and everything. But seeing it come to life like that was the first time I did it with in a teaching setting. And of course it was a teaching setting with my doulas, but also seeing this with the mom, that coming into life, that she saw this picture on her belly, was just, the impact was so, it was huge. It was great.
Yes. You know, for us midwives, we are so used to being able to touch the belly.
Yeah.
We can see it in our mind. We can see the babies.
Yeah.
But for women who are pregnant and their families, it seems very abstract. They can feel it inside their belly, but they still have the idea that the pregnancy and the care of the pregnancy and to view the baby is all a medical atmosphere. It's the medical profession that has access to it.
Yes.
So to make this drawing on the belly makes it accessible to them as a human element that belongs to them. And I think that is what touches their heart. Like it's mine.
It was like, it actually, it was like she realized, wow, I actually have a baby in the belly. And for her, I think it was quite healing as well, because this is baby number 3, and it was quite a surprise to both her and the husband. And it shook their ground that this baby was about to come, because she wasn't ready and he wasn't ready, and it almost tore them apart. But then we talked about it, and they got back together, and now they're really in awe of this baby, and they're just looking so much forward to it. So seeing this baby on the belly, I think made a huge difference in these two as a mom and dad, and finding out that they have 2 daughters alive and well, and that's good. But this 3rd daughter in the belly was not supposed to be there, and seeing that actually made them feel like, well, we're already a family of 5. We're not a family of 4. We're a family of 5, and that's what this made this natural ultrasound did for them.
Yes. It's not a pregnancy, it's the child that is already there.
Right.
That's beautiful. Oh, I am very happy, very glad to hear that beautiful impact, and that you're teaching. Were you teaching the doulas how to do it?
Yeah. We did a lot of hands-on this weekend, and we did a lotus birth, well, without the baby and the mom, but I had a placenta in the freezer that we did a lotus birth with the herbs and flowers and everything. And then we did the belly blessing, and we did the closing of the bones, and with a lot of rebosos and massages and everything. And we actually saw your video of closing the bones, where you did this rosemary steam bath or something. I showed them that video, and they were like, whoa, this is big, this is it, we can really do something here. because we don't really have a tradition like that in Denmark. It's something that we're learning along the way. We have some old Nordic traditions, but it's not that much in the postpartum period that we don't have traditions for that.
Mm-hmm.
So and it's needed now. We see a lot more women who actually call for it now.
Yes, very good. Thank you so much for sharing that. And somebody else would like to introduce yourselves, just so we know at least where you're from. Tanya, where are you from?
Let me get my headphones.
Okay. And
Missing.
there's Eva,
Sorry,
Alejandra.
I'm here.
Oh, you're back.
Okay. Yes. I'm from Ohio originally in the United States, but I'm half Argentine and I'm in Argentina right now. I've been connected to Birthwork since 2010, 2009. And I've really been using quite a few of the tools that you've been giving us, Naoli. I've started as a birth accompaniant here in Argentina, and it's an interesting situation in terms of home birth. So it's kind of complicated, where I feel like I get put into situations that people want me to provide home births for them, but it's not necessarily legal. And so I'm always trying to find where I feel the best and how I can present myself to clients and how I can support them. So right now I have 2 women that are going to be doing home births, and so they're going to be due sometime in July. So
yes,
it's a challenge, but I'm enjoying it.
Yes, I remember you from the last time you were outside in the garden with a lot of sun. Now it's getting cold. Yes. The last session, I remember you introducing yourself. Yeah. Well, why don't we talk about any questions you may have? Because I would love to answer questions or clarify any points from the videos, or just, you know, what comes up from looking at those topics and your work. So I'm opening up the mic for any interventions you would like to offer now. Okay. It's a small group, so we can probably get a lot of good content in. Jill, would you like to tell us a little bit how it's been, you know, watching the videos or working with them? Have you had any interesting insights?
I actually haven't had a chance to watch this month's videos, so in this past month I haven't done a lot with it, so I don't have any pressing questions or anything like that, but I appreciate you asking.
Sure. Okay, well, anybody else? Daya, would you like to make any comments?
Hello, I was just making some guacamole. I've been loving all the materials and everything. I've always wanted to do your course, and I'm originally from Brazil, but I now live in the UK, in England, and I'm a doula, and I'm also a naturologist. So, and I've always felt this call to honour the female power, and so I've just loved, you know, every second of the videos, you know, and really enjoyed and felt fulfilled and fed by something so so powerful that in many cultures now is so dismissed and not talked about, and so many women are craving that care and that natural ability to be honored and respected, and the simplicity of it, you know, and I see that in your teaching, in how you share your teaching with such simplicity. It's not something that it's complicated. And yeah, I've been working with a woman she's due in September, and she had
all participants. Last time there were about 20-something people.
And she had a very traumatic birth in a hospital, and so she decided this time to have an independent midwife and have a doula. And I've asked her, so what's the situation with your midwife? Is she hands-on? Is she hands-off? And she said, she's just a clinical midwife. And I love the fact that I can bring something more traditional, something more human to my client, to this woman, and for her to have a healing experience, a transformation experience in this new birth. So yeah, I'm just very grateful for this opportunity that you are offering us all with sharing your knowledge in this platform, because obviously not many of us don't live in Brazil, so it's hard to come and experience it and be with you. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
Wonderful, Daya, thank you. Very, very good. And what about you, Alejandra? What do you say? Alejandra lives near me.
Hi.
In a town nearby, but we don't get to see each other very much.
No, sometimes we pass like 1-2 years without seeing each other. I don't have much to say. I'm a midwife. I'm from Argentina too. I live here in Garopaba, in south of Brazil, since I think that's 17 years ago. I came when I was 19, and I'm growing a lot as a midwife. We have a lot of work here, and I'm really happy. And it's really important to me to listen all of you and be a part of these workshops, because it's really desafiante. How I say desafiante?
Challenging.
Challenging. So in this moment, I have 4 kids, and one of them is asking for me to read a book right now. No, that's not the moment. Tá, mas mami agora não pode, amor. And I think that it's really difficult in this moment of pandemia. Sometimes I feel like I can see the reality of the situation, speaking about spiritual and in political and the global thing. And sometimes I feel like, wow, what about now? What is going to happen? And sometimes with insomnia, I can't sleep, and because it's not a thing that it's rational. It's like a feeling, and I feel lonely. And it's so good to be speaking with another midwives, and they live it's really intensive to be a midwife and a mother, and it's good to listen all of you. So that's
It is true, Alejandra. As a midwife, many times I did feel that not exactly lonely, but the feeling of all the weight is on my shoulders, and every case and every situation you have to decide on your own. And it feels really good to have the midwife references, the mentors or the colleagues that you can call once in a while and get another point of view, or maybe just some reassurance. But it is an intense moment to be living right now. And there are so many issues at stake, so many political and financial situations, and socially people are stressed. You know, even though we may be quite calm and easygoing and very positive, there is an underlying stress of not knowing what is going to happen with the world. When are we going to have a normal life again? That's a big thing. You know, when can we hug people? When can I attend a birth where I don't need a mask and she can look at my face and I can see her face with no interference and hug each other? Very simple things, but they make a big impact, big impact. I often look at little children, you know, my grandchild who is 2.5 years old, she's getting used to wearing a mask when we go outside. And I find it so sad. At the same time, I find it healthy because I'm glad she's used to it and she finds it normal. But I wish it was not normal, you know? It is difficult.
Yeah, the other day, my 3-year-old daughter, she starts singing like this. I'm going to sing the way she sang, and then I can translate. She sang, coronavirus, coronavirus, quero ver minhas amiguinhas e brincar. E eu escutava ela repetir coronavírus e I was going to say, just stop saying coronavirus all the time. But then she said, I want to play with my friends, singing coronavirus. It was, oh God, that's so sad. Yeah.
She was calling for the coronavirus to make a change, to go away, right? Yeah. So, yes, well, thank you. Who else would have maybe a question or something you would like to talk about specifically for this moment?
I have a question, and it's not directly related to your video, but it's similar. I know that recently in August, I went to Mexico for a Cierre de los Huesos, like a closing of the bones sort of retreat and training. And we were able to learn also about the postpartum faja, like the wrap right after birth. And the wrap that we used was a very thin, elastic, it was something disposable, it was something that we could buy very easily there. But here in Argentina, I don't know which cloth to use. So my question to you is, what can I use that's 30 centimeters wide, 5 meters long, that would work for that immediate postpartum wrap?
Well, I know exactly what wrap you mean. We called it faja, and it's similar to what is used for sprained ankles. You know, it's elastic. Here, I think what you could use simply would be a Velcro waistband that people who carry weight would use. You know, one that has Velcro that you can adjust. I think that would be the closest and the most simple and practical thing to use. And I think women in pregnancy,
you don't think that
some pregnant women have it because some of them buy it to give support during the pregnancy. But if it has Velcro, then she can adjust it tighter in the postpartum. I don't usually.
You don't think that just.
I don't recommend it so much. I find that that sometimes when women use it every day, at the end of the quarantena, the 40 days, they take it off and the belly just plops out. Like it makes, sometimes it takes the place of strengthening the muscles in the 40 days. I saw that quite a bit in Mexico. They would wear the faja, and then at 40 days, their belly would just plop out. So I think it makes more sense to me for the women to only tie themselves with a rebozo, you know, if they're going to go out for some reason, you know, to do some documents or go up or down the stairs, hopefully not so much at all. But if they need to, they can just tie their bones with a rebozo a cloth and make a knot, but not keep it all the time. That's my feeling. That it might, in case you want to use it the way that you learned in Mexico, I would use a Velcro waistband, that's thick, long, and sort of thick. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I was just wondering if like a thin, stretchy cloth would do the same trick, but yeah, we can definitely find Velcro bands if that's what we want, for sure.
So when you went to do that workshop, was it in Mexico City or was it in Oaxaca? Where did you go?
It was a Mexican American midwife, and she worked in San Diego, and she worked with a partner in Baja California, so on the other side of Tijuana, and it was really beautiful. It was really wonderful.
Nice.
Because I always wanted to profound my knowledge, because I had started with you back in that Midwifery Today conference, and I always wanted to get more information about that. So I was really happy to follow up.
Wonderful. Good. And Eva, are you what country are you in now?
Hi. So I live in Austria, and I'm a trained doula, and I did the training with Angelika Rödler and Deborah Pascali, and she showed us your birth video, your water birth. That's how I found you. And then I saw your online trainings, and I was like, oh my God, I have to do this. But also I didn't have the time to do this month's videos, but I will try to work more with the rebozo, and I have a birth in August, and I'm really excited for that. It's actually my first birth as a doula. I've done an internship at the hospital here in Vienna, but I was sort of just like helping the midwives, and I was not really there as a doula because I didn't know the women before. They just came to the hospital, and then I was with them the whole day. And so I'm really excited for this first birth in August. But I'm a bit concerned because the hospitals are very strict currently, and they don't really allow doulas, and yeah, there's a lot of anxiety in the air, and so I'm a little bit concerned also for the woman, and I really hope that it's going to be a beautiful birth, but I'm a bit concerned that they'll do a lot of interventions, so we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see if you're allowed in. Yes, Sandra?
Eva, we actually had the same problem here in Denmark. We've actually been blessed in all of this corona virus thing, because we weren't hit very hard, and I can attend my home births without anything on and hug my pregnant women and everything, and that's very nice. But also here in Denmark, the doulas aren't allowed in the hospital birthing sessions. It's only the father who are allowed. But we actually had the network of doulas here in Denmark contact all of the leading midwives in the birthing centers, in the labor wards, and asking them for permission everywhere to be able to FaceTime or Skype or something like that with their women during the birth. So they had their doula with them. They could see her, look in her eyes, and every leading midwife in Denmark said yes. So this has been an opportunity during the whole coronavirus thing, and it's still a possibility because the doulas still aren't allowed to go in. But maybe this was an opportunity for you to be there with your woman and her husband during the labor in the labor ward.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean the thing is that he doesn't speak German, and so she wanted someone to be able to translate for him and for her. But I mean, she speaks German basically. But so I asked her if she could ask the hospital, and we'll see if I'm allowed to be there. Yeah.
Otherwise, you can do the translations also via FaceTime.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're learning to be versatile with the virtual world. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to look into that option. Thank you.
Well, good. So the last, because some of you have not watched the videos of this last month, there's one which is the feminine power in birth that some of you watched, and the last one is about the perineal massage, the care of the yoni, so that we can avoid as much as possible the tearing of the vulva and the perineum and the area of the clitoris. So it will be very nice once you've watched it, to hear your feedback and your observations and reflections. I'm working right now because of the pandemic, also through the women doing the filming themselves of their own observations, reflections about their own birth, and it's been really beautiful. I ask them very open questions, and then they choose to speak on whatever it is they want to speak about it. So what comes out is that each woman tells a story in her own way without having me there asking anything. So it's very flowing, and I'm finding it fascinating to see what each one of them will say about their own birth. And then I put the footage of their births inserted in their speech, in their narration. And it's I think it's a really beautiful opportunity that I'm finding right now to allow the women to just completely speak what their experience was. And sometimes I feel a little bit embarrassed because they keep saying, "Oh, Naoli was wonderful, and it was so wonderful." I try to edit that out because I feel embarrassed. That's not really the point. But I realize how much it really makes a difference to look into the eye of the midwife and to hear the midwife, or in the case of doula, it would be the doula. But that human connection of being together in the experience of the birth, even though the woman will give birth by herself and she's basically doing it herself. We're not doing it for them, but the connection. And some I would say most women feel the need of a connection. Occasionally not, but we are social beings, human beings. It's very interesting. Even though I remember well when I was giving birth, I wasn't very, very conscious of not conscious, but like I didn't have my midwife really present in the way of feeling like I depended anything on her. But I did remember feeling like an angel, like a presence that was giving security and support, and just like a safety net. It was really interesting. So this is an interesting experience now. Having the women record themselves, just whatever they want to say. So whenever you see that video, give us feedback. I find it pretty interesting. Of course, many people. Yeah, go ahead, Ale.
So when I saw the video of the lady saying that she has to go within her to help her daughter to go out of her, and that was wow. Is that I think that's what I have 4 children, and I have how you say unassisted birth. I didn't have a midwife, so when I start in my past of midwife was like, what women want of a midwife? That was a question. And yes, it passed 10 years that I started working, and now I understand that it's the presence, is our presence that they need. And but wow, was incredible. I wanted to all the women that I'm assisting to hear that woman speaking about their birth, because it's not like the videos you watch in internet and YouTube, and you think, wow, I want, they are going to have an illusion of their birth. It's really genuine, that's the word, genuine speaking of what what all of them felt in the birth. Wow, I love that video. It was incredible. It was really good. And I was watching and listening and saying, I can imagine Naoli saying, it wasn't me, stop talking about me, because I know how is the feeling. And wow, was really good. Congratulations. You all of you and your team made a thing really verdadero, sí, really genuine. Yeah, really good. Congrats.
Thank you, Ali. And then the last birth, the last video, there's a woman, the one on the perineum. There's a woman, Natasha, who says a very striking phrase. She says, I have never felt so penetrated in my life, but from the inside out. That was really something. It's like penetrated. The first time I heard it, when she recorded it, I felt, oh my God, people are going to feel like I intruded in her. But then she said, from the inside out. And it was so astonishing and powerful, because you are being penetrated from the inside out. Very powerful too. Yeah. So I think that as we continue making these videos and allowing the women to speak, we're going to be surprised every time. There will always be some or another way of phrasing or expressing that experience that will reflect on many women. Many women have told me that they had no words to express what they felt, and finally somebody found the words. Or even the women who participated in these videos, of course, when they watch the video, they say, oh, these other women were able to say the other things I couldn't even express. So they're being mirrors of each other. Very, very beautiful. I'm finding it also very moving as a discovery process. It doesn't matter if I've been a midwife for 30 years. It's every time it's a exploration, a discovery. Right now we're working on a video that the next video that you're going to see, it's on meconium at birth. So you will also see the story of the woman giving birth and the whole situation of the meconium, and how we dealt with it. So I'm also very excited that it's the birth of 3 weeks ago, and it's all happening in real time. Very exciting. Yes, Anna?
I'm looking so much forward to see that one on meconium, because that has a really bad reputation here in Denmark. I don't know about the other countries, but here it's actually it's a very old, excuse my language, wives' tale that that the meconium in birth, if there's a meconium in the water, then it's a sign of preeclampsia, and it's and the worst part is that it's in Denmark, loosely translated, that's in layman's terms, it's called pregnancy poisoning. That's what we call it in Danish.
Oh.
So a lot of, and it has nothing to do with that, but a lot of women gets very frightened in birth when they see the meconium in the water and think, oh my God, I've poisoned my baby. But it has nothing to do with that. And actually connecting to what Alejandra said about just being there, the presence of us, just being there in the birth. I just had well, I didn't, the mother had a birth recently where the baby was covered in meconium, and we had been working during the whole pregnancy because she had a very, very traumatic first birth by with just making a conscious and safe space for her to give birth. And we did that since last November, working on this, and she almost didn't believe that she would get there, but I could see in her body that she was a lot more relaxed, and she didn't have high shoulders, and she was just okay in her body, but her mind wasn't all the way there. And I thought, well, when you go through the birth, you will get there. And actually, when we came, the doula and I came to the birth, we were met at the door by the 3-year-old older sister, and she was in her 3-year-old language saying, hello, midwife, the baby came. And I was like, what? The baby came? Okay. And then we just stormed into the living room, and the mom was sitting like this with the baby covered in meconium. I was like, she just came. And the next thing she said was to me and the doula, was like, oh my God, you just came at the exact right moment of birth. We came after birth because she just realized right then and there, I can give birth without any trauma whatsoever. And then she looked at all of this meconium, and the next thing, that was this dogma about the meconium, she looked at me and said, she'll live, right? She's okay. It's like, you didn't poison your baby. Everything is fine. She's fine. So this meconium has such a bad history in Denmark. No one understands why it comes out, and everybody gets really surprised when I tell them, don't worry, it's normal, it's normal. It doesn't mean the baby's in harm's way or it's stressed or it wouldn't survive or lack of oxygen or anything, but they actually generally believe that they poison their baby. And it's horrible.
Yeah, it is terrible. It's terrible, and it's good to hear that, because it just makes me focus this new video in a wider way, because people truly don't have much idea at all about meconium. It's just so much ignorance about it. So anyway, I'm going to keep working on that video. We are editing right now, and in a few days you will have it. Okay?
Great.
And I really loved listening to you and seeing you this morning or this afternoon. And please, let's be in touch. Write anything you would like in the forum, okay? And we will see you next month. And in the meantime, I'm going to be stopping this conversation and editing again. So I send you a big hug and a big kiss to all of you. Have a beautiful end of the day. Bye.